KAVU 25, News Now at 6.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Amaya Norman. Texas EquiSearch has reopened the case of Thomas Flowers, who went missing in 2002 under suspicious circumstances. Thomas is described as a black male standing 5 feet 6 inches tall and weighing approximately 155 pounds. He has black hair and brown eyes. It is unknown what clothing Thomas was wearing at the time of his disappearance. We have reached out to the police department and are waiting further information. Today is the start of a weekend intended to give Texans a head start into emergency weather planning. 25 News Now reporter Trenton Whiting joined us with the details on how residents can take advantage. Trenton.
Thank you, Amaya. It's the 10th year of the annual Emergency Supply Tax-Free Weekend, created to help Texas residents find some savings for their storm preparation. Hurricane season is approaching. The Texas government passed an initiative a decade ago to give residents some storm prep relief with an annual emergency supply tax-free weekend. This year, from April 26th to April 28th.
The state of Texas said, let's get ready, let's get prepared, and allow our communities to be prepared as well. Just really take this time for this weekend to prepare for hurricane season.
Items like portable generators, emergency ladders, batteries, fire extinguishers, flashlights, first aid kits, monoxide and smoke detectors are tax-free this weekend.
Now's the time to get your supplies before the hurricane season starts. So go ahead and get it now, not only get tax-free if they have it in stock, so get prepared now is the key.
Preparing for hurricane season is crucial in the crossroads, especially with the impact of recent storms such as Hurricane Beryl.
There's no such thing as a weak hurricane. So people may be a little bit complacent in Category 1. It's not that bad, but it turned out to be different than that, of course. It's very damaging, especially to the upper Texas coast. So you don't want to wait to the last minute to try to figure out what you're going to do.
Tax-free weekend ends Monday night at midnight. And just a reminder for shoppers who are going out this weekend, things like medical masks, cleaning supplies, toilet paper, tents, and vehicle batteries will still have sales tax. Amaya, back to you.
Your viewer poll this afternoon. How prepared do you feel for the storm season? Very prepared, somewhat prepared, not prepared at all. And at 49% is somewhat prepared, and I agree with you. I'm somewhat prepared as well, but you can still participate in our viewer poll. Just visit our website at crossroadstoday.com. Now let's go to Trey Mining with the first look at our forecast. Trey, it was raining a little bit earlier and then it stopped. Are we expecting any more rain?
Well, kind of a little bit here and there, kind of a little bit of light rain earlier today. Clouds still remaining though, and very humid on the outside, no doubt about it. Current temperatures, let's see, they come up here, 80 degrees in Victoria, with a little bit of a wind near 18, 20 miles per hour sustained, a little bit higher gusts. High humidity, of course, 10-mile visibilities. Any more rain chances? Well, there will be some better chances next week. What days though, and how much we expect? We'll find out later on in the full forecast. Amaya?
Parts of southwest Oklahoma are cleaning up after heavy rains caused major flooding, like in Lawton on Saturday morning. The Lawton Fire Department responded to multiple water rescues as people got trapped in the rising waters. And unfortunately, more storms are on the way. Forecast shows severe thunderstorms will increase Sunday night, with a new system bringing the risk of tornadoes, hail, and more flooding over the next few days. Hundreds of thousands of people from all over the world gathered today to say goodbye to Pope Francis. The faithful spending the last 3 days passing through St. Peter's Basilica for a public viewing of the pontiff. Following the funeral mass, a procession is carrying the Pope's body to its final resting place.
The world watching as Pope Francis, who led the Catholic Church for the past 12 years, is laid to rest. The 88-year-old pontiff died Monday just hours after making his final public appearance on Easter Sunday in St. Peter's Square. Bells tolling in that very same square today, where the Vatican says more than 250,000 people gathered for his funeral. His coffin carried under the same balcony where he was first introduced as Pope in 2013. More than 160 foreign delegations, including dozens of world leaders and monarchs in attendance, among them President Trump and the First Lady. Francis was often called the People's Pope. Groups of poor and disadvantaged people invited to the ceremony. Pope Francis spending much of his papacy advocating for the poor, visiting with them and washing their feet. Signs in the crowd reading Grazie Francesco, thank you Francis.
It was very touching, very somber.
Papa Francesco.
The dean of the College of Cardinals, Cardinal Giovanni Battista Re, delivering the homily. Cardinal Re speaking of Pope Francis's final appearance on Easter, saying even though his health was failing, Francis chose to follow his path of self-giving until the last day. And he highlighted the impact Francis had on the Catholic Church, saying the guiding thread of his mission was the conviction that the church is a home for all, with its doors always open. Holy water sprinkled on the coffin, followed by incense. Applause erupting as the Pope's coffin was carried away, bells tolling once again. The streets of Rome lined with people as the funeral procession made its way from St. Peter's to the Basilica of St. Mary Major. Francis choosing to be buried there, marking the first time in more than a century a pope will be laid to rest outside the Vatican walls.
Preparations will soon be made for cardinals to hold a conclave to elect a new pope. It's a very secretive and ancient ritual, but a date for that has yet to be set. Inez de la Cotera, ABC News at the Vatican. In Georgia, Rockdale County Public School addressed a controversy involving whites-only and coloreds-only signs at Honey Creek Elementary. The signs were part of an unauthorized social studies activity meant to teach first graders about Ruby Bridges and civil rights. The superintendent said the lesson wasn't approved. It didn't align with district guidelines. An investigation is now underway with states and local NAACP planning to review the results. Now to Luigi Mangione, pleading not guilty to federal charges in the killing of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. The prosecutors declaring their intent to seek the death penalty.
This morning, after Luigi Mangione pleaded not guilty to federal charges, his lawyers begin trying to stop federal prosecutors from pursuing the death penalty. Mangione's attorneys have called it barbaric, and they have until June to say why the government should not be allowed to seek his execution. Prosecutors have said Mangione deserves it for allegedly stalking and killing United Healthcare Chief Executive Brian Thompson and for trying to provoke broad-based resistance to the victim's industry after investigators said they discovered words associated with insurance claims at the scene of the crime: delay, deny, depose. Prosecutors said other evidence would include cell phone data that allegedly tracked Mangione from his arrival in New York to his stay at a hostel to his movement outside the Hilton Hotel where Thompson was shot. Mangione, who last appeared dressed in ordinary clothes, came to court Friday in shackles and a beige jail outfit. He stood and said not guilty after the judge asked how he would plead.
The next few steps we can anticipate in this case would be the following of motions. First and foremost, trying to push back or fight against the death penalty.
He's not due to return to federal court until December, when the judge said she wanted to set a trial date for sometime in 2026. At the end of the hearing, the defense said prosecutors had listened in to one of Mangione's jailhouse phone calls with his lawyers. Prosecutors called it an inadvertent occurrence that was immediately flagged. The judge demanded a full explanation by the end of next week. Aaron Katursky, ABC News, New York.
Trinity County's only hospital, which opened just 14 months ago, will close this week as Texas continues to keep struggles to keep their rural hospitals afloat. To read this full Texas Tribune article, visit our website at crossroadstoday.com. Attorneys for the Mendez brothers are calling for the Los Angeles District Attorney to be removed from their case. In a court filing Friday, they argue DA Nathan Hackman has a conflict of interest that could impact the fairness of their resentencing. The Mendez brothers are seeking resentencing based on the new evidence they say supports claims of sexual abuse by their father. The DA's office hired an attorney who opposed their bid, and the resentencing hearing have been pushed to May 9th. An ex-Disney World employee has been sentenced to 3 years in prison and fined nearly $700,000 for hacking into restaurants' menus at the park. Federal prosecutor says Michael Kuer from Winter Garden, Florida, changed allergy information, menu prices, and even added profanity to the menus. They also say he altered wine regions to reference recent mass shootings and locked certain employees out of their accounts. Schuer, who was fired from Disney World in 2024 for misconduct, worked as a menu production manager during his time there. For more on today's news story, come to crossroadstoday.com. Don't forget to submit your birthday wishes. Carolina Strain and Parker Cox will read them live on 25 News Now Sunrise. You can also submit a local military hero so we can recognize them. A brief but productive meeting, President Trump and Zelensky came face-to-face inside St. Peter's Basilica during Pope Francis' funeral. Details coming up.
Let's take a review of the day, why don't we? 84 degrees was the high today in Victoria, low 67 degrees. Look at the rainfall already for the year. We're under about a little bit over an inch and a quarter. Need rain definitely here. Also for the month of April, we're down almost an inch and a quarter as well. Rain chance on the way? There's some. We'll tell you when coming up in our forecast.
Welcome back. At least 5 people are dead after an explosion at an Iranian port today. It happened at the Shahid Rajai port in Bandar Abbas. Over 700 people were also injured following the blast. Authorities are investigating the cause of the explosion, but say it could be linked to chemical materials. International students across the U.S. are getting some relief after weeks of uncertainty. The Trump administration has reversed its decision to terminate the status of thousands of students following legal actions that challenge the move.
After weeks of legal uncertainty for international students.
For the students who have heard this positive news, it's a lot of relief for them.
Relief after being concerned that they could be deported. The Trump administration is now walking back the decision to terminate the status of thousands of students studying in the United States. The decision to reinstate student SEVIS accounts, a government student visa system, comes after ICE terminated records across several metro campuses, oftentimes without notice, according to students.
These particular terminations expected students to leave immediately. They were expecting students to self-deport.
Instead, immigration attorney David Wilson filed lawsuits for several clients against ICE. And just last week, a federal judge ordered ICE to temporarily reinstate 2 of his clients' legal status.
And I have others pending, but I've asked the court to hold on to them, waiting to see what this new policy from ICE is.
In court Friday, a Justice Department attorney said ICE is developing a policy that will provide a framework for SEVIS record terminations. Until such a policy is issued, the SEVIS records for plaintiffs in this case and other similarly situated plaintiffs will remain active. That impact here almost immediate. Over at St. Cloud State University, 7 students out of 8 had their visas reinstated. At Mankato State University, 8 out of 12 students are now active. And right here in Minneapolis, University of Minnesota says 4 out of 11 students' statuses have been reactivated.
It's good to see that the courts are willing to draw a line, that this is essentially executive branch overreach.
For now, Wilson says this gives students a chance to continue studying without fear.
Guess we'll just have to brace these next 4 years.
I see it as a very positive step, but I don't think this is the end of the discussion.
President Trump and Zelensky met on the sidelines of Pope Francis' funeral. The 2 leaders met for about 15 minutes inside St. Peter's Basilica on Saturday, according to a U.S. official. The Ukrainian president has described the meeting as, quote, productive, but did not offer much details. Take a listen.
Mr. President, how did the meeting with Trump go?
We had we had productive meeting. I don't want to go too a lot of details, if it's possible, because the questions, very sensitive questions on, of course, totally it's about how to bring peace closer and how was resultative, positive Paris and London, and we want to continue such meetings to bring peace to Ukraine.
Experience our digital streaming service Crossroads Today Plus. Stream our daily newscast and much more using your connected TV. Just download Crossroads Today Plus on your Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, or Android TV. Search Crossroads Today Plus.
Severe weather breaking out way out in New Mexico and the Panhandle of Texas, also in southern Oklahoma, north of Dallas-Fort Worth area. For us here, quiet in comparison to the rain chances for our region. There will be eventually. We'll take a look coming up in your full forecast. Good evening, everyone. Trey Mining here. Happy Saturday. And cloudy skies around the Crossroads region, very humid on the outside, and a little bit of light rain here and there, kind of small, little spotty rain showers throughout the day today. Nothing widespread or anything of that nature, not really amounting too much in the rain gauges. Temperatures will continue to be a little bit above normal for the next several days. Our average high is about 80, 81 degrees every day. Temperature will be about 85 or so the next several days down the road. Have a combining moisture off the Gulf coming in with southerly winds, cloudy skies, a little bit of light rain here and there. Increasing the rain chances somewhat toward the middle part of next week as the front out west will get closer to us. Notice here on the screen there, near Pecos, way out there in West Texas, some big storms there, producing severe weather. Those there near Midland, Odessa, and Pecos area near Alpine. Staying out of that part of the country for the time being while we remain humid. Very warm and hot, as a matter of fact, with temperatures above normal, as I just showed you there a second ago. Look at the severe weather. We have tornado watches and severe thunderstorm watches out west in the western part of the state and in New Mexico. Same thing in Oklahoma toward Arkansas with storms there as well. North of Dallas-Fort Worth, we're quiet in comparison to those areas. But there's severe weather going on there with some large hail being reported there near Midland, Odessa, currently in the area of that part of the state, while we're here in the seventh for the heat. And temperatures starting off in the 80s currently and staying that way for the next few hours or so, 70s or so in the early morning hours for your Sunday. By about 6 a.m. or so, about 70, 71 degrees will be the overnight low. And then temperatures tomorrow once again in the 80s coming up by the afternoon time. Maybe getting near 90 degrees in the far western parts of the Crossroads region coming up for your day tomorrow as the heat continues for our region here. And we have southerly winds off the Gulf, as I've been mentioning, keeping the cloudy skies in, the humidity at mid-bay as well. And reducing a little bit in the overnight the wind speed about 5 to 10 miles per hour and revving it back up in the afternoon with southerly winds near 10 to 15 miles per hour with higher gusts. Just keeping that moisture flow in the region here, giving us humid feel. We need a lifting mechanism to get this moisture up in the atmosphere, build clouds skyward, and give us rain chances. That'll help coming up toward the middle part of next week as the front out west will get closer to us, increasing those rain chances just a little bit. We'll see here with the future tracker. Keeping mostly dry for the rest of the day today, most of the day on Sunday as well with rain out west, keeping it there for the time being. But as we run this model all the way through about Wednesday or so, getting a little bit better rain chances here by Tuesday evening and your day on Wednesday, the front get closer to us. It pretty much stays over the area, so rain chances, at least small to medium level rain chances coming up for the middle part of the week, next week, into about next weekend or so. So catching up on the rain a little bit. Port Lavaca, well, not too bad for a day tomorrow, starting off in the 70s by 9 a.m. Weather in the mid-80s or so by the afternoon time, partly cloudy skies. Gusty winds in the afternoon especially. Cuero, cloudy to partly cloudy skies toward the morning hours. More sun toward the afternoon with highs in the mid-80s there. And also for Victoria, cloudy skies morning time with partly cloudy skies for the rest of the afternoon, highs in the mid-80s. An extended forecast for us here. Mostly dry the first part of the week, better rain chances toward Wednesday and the end of the week next week, with highs still in the 80s or so, lows in the 70s. Sweating it out, but still keeping the rain chances better toward the end of the week. Take a look at this right here. This is the QR code. Get your smartphone, scan the code you see right there. They'll take you to a webpage. You can download our app, News, Weather, and Sports at your fingertips. Very easy, convenient, free of charge to have on your phone. Be connected with us. I see Ray Robinson over there with some sports.
Thank you, Trey. We have all the fanfare from this year's draft. See what our sister station has to say in covering the fans and more coming up in sports. All right, Crossroads, and as the NFL draft concludes, the answer I'm sure we was all looking for is here, and that's Colorado quarterback Shedeur Sanders is a Cleveland Brown. Sanders' draft selection was a hot fan topic, but there was more fanfare, as sports director Jacob Linsdorf from our sister station, WKTV News 8, reports.
Well, it's hard to put into words what the feeling was around Green Bay last night for the first round of the NFL draft. The eyes of the football world squarely on Titletown, but the city and fans from all over delivered. The numbers are in from day number one, and how about it? 205,000 people in attendance, which is almost double the population of Green Bay. A sea of people filled the parking lot for one big party, and the reviews from night number one are glowing.
You're never going to get anything like it again. I mean, the fans were great. I mean, the atmosphere is great. Weather today, I mean, we're still going to have a great turnout.
I like the hometown atmosphere that you have here, and the facilities are amazing.
I mean, where else would you want to have it? Lambeau Field, iconic. Like, this is like the birthplace of the NFL. So, like, there is not a better spot to have it. And, like, honestly, they should do the draft here every year.
And as the saying goes, when in Rome, fans from all over are embracing the Wisconsin culture.
I have tried the cheese curds, and they're very good here.
The cheese curds at Lambeau are better than you're going to get most places, for sure.
Just the whole atmosphere. I want some good cheese, too. I haven't seen any cheese stands just yet, and that's what we're kind of looking for a little bit. But just to experience the whole culture and see what Green Bay is all about.
And regardless of who you root for, the love for football continues to turn strangers into friends as they all soak in one of the best weekends in football.
I mean, the nice thing about Green Bay is like it's community. So I mean, everything in this draft has been about bringing people together.
It's cool how sports connects all cultures, all races, all different types of people. So it's cool to talk to people from all over the country about sports. You all have common knowledge and common love for the game, so it's awesome.
And we may not have the perfect conditions for day 2 of the NFL draft, but that is not putting a damper on the buzz and excitement in the city. In Green Bay, Jacob Lensdorf, KAVU 25, News Now Sports.
All right, thank you, Jacob. Last night, the St. Joe Lady Flyers made a statement to begin their playoff run on the diamond, and I think it was made clear, loud. I think it was made loud and clear winning the game. Here's a word from Jasmine Gomez, one of the key performers in last night after having 2 key runs in the game.
Just like catching the ball for fielding, and then hitting is pretty good. Mostly we just try to make contact and like get runners in. I just want to like keep the communicating going with us, you know, keep the team bonding while going more deeper into the playoffs and like playing our hardest, and then just like continue focusing on the mechanics and everything.
All right, and staying in local playoff softball and talk about the Lady Gobblers. That's right, Crossroads. The Lady Flyers wasn't the only team having double-digit runs. The Cuero Lady Gobblers win their opening series matchup against Pershaw. Final score, 10-0. And this Saturday saw both Victoria schools in East and West battle each other for the #1 spot in their district. Down at Cuero today, both teams didn't give an inch when battling one another. Talk about down to the wire. In East, Kason Coley hits a triple in the top of the 8th inning, which followed was a foul ball to West catching it, but it was able to get a runner home in a close call game. East wins the game. Final score, 1-0. East will prepare to take on Houston Milby, but that does it for your sports. Amaya?
Thank you, Ray. And congratulations to Shadur Sanders for the draft. Now let's get ready to twist and shout. It's National Pretzel Day coming up. Don't be afraid to get a little twisted on Saturday. It's National Pretzel Day, and the perfect excuse or opportunity to snack on the classic. Soft, crunchy, salty, sweet, cheesy pretzels are the best. Pretzels date back to the time of the Crusades, as they were a food approved for Catholics to eat during Lent. The food became popular in the U.S. in the 1700s due to the German immigrants. And you can score a free pretzel from popular chain Auntie Annie's, that you were just talking about earlier, on Saturday in honor of the observation.
Is there Auntie Anne's at the Victoria Mall?
I
don't believe so.
Wait, I thought I saw
could be
one.
wrong, but
yeah.
But you know, Auntie Annie's do have good pretzels. I love the soft pretzel bread or whatever they call it.
I know for a fact there is a place in the mall that you can get a large pretzel or a small pretzel. They sell them there.
So why are we talking about twisted up? How's the weather gonna be?
All tied up in knots? No, not really.
To help us.
All right, we're doing partly cloudy skies or the next several days. Highs in the 80s, better rain chances at least somewhat, coming up Wednesday through Saturday of next week. Looking forward to that. Lows in the 70s, hot and humid conditions with breezy conditions in the afternoon. Hang on to your hats.
Yes, indeed. The weather is all in the knots. But thank you for joining us. We hope you be with us tonight for 25 News Now Weekends at 10. See you.